So what are your names?
I'm Kat Kovacs.
Yeah.
And I'm John Freeman.
Thank you. And how did you get into steampunk? How does somebody approach it? But how did you get into it?
Well, I first discovered it when I was driving through like Ramsbottom. I saw these people dressed up in stuff, and I thought, I'd love to do that. And I also saw it when I went to a Comic Con event in Manchester, my hometown.
Okay.
And then I just thought, yeah, let's give it a try.
So you didn't come into it for any films or books. It was just you saw some people dressed up in Lancashire and you thought, I'll have a go at that. I'll find out.
Well, I'm different to him.
Okay, go on.
So we've met at these events, you see. So originally, when I was a kid, I used to watch these films, if you remember them, with the Victorian big gowns and the white wigs and the love art things there.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've always loved that. When I got a bit older, I became a goth. And I suppose...
Oh, so did you go to Whitby and then see steampunk people there, or no?
No, what happened was, I'd had a 12-and-a-half-year relationship and I'd just finished with someone, and someone asked me from work, did I want to go to the steampunk thing? And I said, well, what is it?
Oh.
And he said, well, you dress sort of... Then, it was 2017, he says, oh, it's sort of Victorian or whatever. So I already had stuff like, being an old goth like, I just dragged things out of my wardrobe, put it together. I already had top hat, because I've always done fancy dress. From a little child, I've always customised clothes. And that's how I got into it. So I went to one in Nottingham, and that's how I started. And then it just went from there. And every time you go, you buy more things.
Yeah, you do.
Customise.
And this is very colourful compared to the goths.
Yeah.
And it feels like a much happier event than Whitby.
Well, I was there last week.
Okay.
We ended up staying for the week, and it was actually the goths and the steampunkers. So I'm a bit of both, you see, because I used to be goth. But goth is like, if you think about it, it's 1800s.
Yes.
So it's originating from the same sort of thing as the steampunk. And I mean, with it coming from Germany, they were the ones that invented it, as far as I know.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. And it's got like, the Victorians were into time, always watching clocks and time machines.
Yes, they were.
This is why you get bags with clocks on and, watches and things all over.
And do you make your own costumes, or do you buy them places like the Souk, or?
Usually, myself, I get things from charity shops and I customise them. So you'll buy something and it'll totally look different when I finish with it, and I add all things onto it, accessories.
It's fabulous.
So yeah.
Thank you. With the goggles, I see lots of people have got goggles on the helmets, the men have. Where does that come from?
I'm not sure, but most people I've seen, like certain men who have these like top hats, usually like they will have goggles on their heads, and some we would have like these little magnifying eyepieces. Yeah. I mean, they don't really do anything, but it's just to add a style if you want.
It's really nice.
I know where it comes from.
Go on.
I was going to try and say earlier, it's to do with it's got like a futuristic aspect as well.
It has.
So it's got the 1800s, goth, and then a futuristic and the time machine. So the futuristic,
like Jules Verne and those sorts of stories.
Yeah, you get like futuristic. So this sort of thing, the goggles and everything. Yeah,
that's great.
That's where that comes from. I think Germans were the ones that made it all up, and it's all over the world as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You know Lincoln?
Yeah.
People from all over the world, Germany and everywhere, go to the Lincoln one.
And is that in an old sanatorium, the asylum?
Yes. The asylum, yeah. That's
right. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you ever so much.
That's all right. Thank you.